How's it going, guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be checking out some tips you should really know for early game to get the best start possible on your brand new adventures through the Galar region in Pokemon Sword and Shield. The first and possibly one of the most important things you should definitely be aware of as soon as you start your adventure in Pokemon Sword and Shield is the fact that this game has an autosave feature. As most of you are probably aware, in the earlier generation of the Pokemon games, there was no autosave and you had to manually save all the time, which is actually preferred for many reasons, and having an autosave feature can actually screw you over probably more times than it's going to help you. So for me personally, turning autosave off was the first thing I did in the game, as long as you get in a good habit of saving pretty often, which shouldn't be a problem if you're used to doing that in the previous Pokemon games. And now that we're in the options menu, it's worth checking out some of the other options we can see here that are actually pretty cool additions, such as the feature where we can disable the prompt at the end of the battle after we catch a Pokemon, if we want to give it a nickname or if we want to send them to the box. If you're like me and don't really give nicknames to your Pokemon, you can disable this so it doesn't ask you every single time you catch a Pokemon, which is definitely a nice touch. Now let's move into some actual gameplay tips. As long as you have online, pretty much as soon as you start your Pokemon journey, you can go into the mystery gift option and connect to the internet to get a completely free Gigantamax Meowth, which is pretty cool to get a completely free Gigantamax Pokemon right from the beginning of the game. Also related to the mystery gifts, if you bought this through the Nintendo eShop, you should have got a code to your email that if we introduce it here, we'll be able to get 12 free Quick Balls, which again are pretty useful to get 12 free extra Quick Balls at the beginning of the game. If you got the game from GameStop or some other physical store, check to see if they gave you any codes you can introduce here for maybe some extra gear. Now for some of you more hardcore Pokemon fans out there, there's a thing that's pretty common where people really want to get the starter Pokemon in Shiny, so they make a save file just before picking up the starter Pokemon and keep on reloading the save file until the starter Pokemon eventually is a Shiny. But apparently it's been confirmed that the starter Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield can never actually be Shiny Pokemon, so don't waste your time trying this. And on that same note, in the previous version of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, you could actually see which Pokemon are shiny before you engage with them when they're just walking around in the grass. That is not the case in Sword and Shield. You won't be able to see if they're shiny until you start the battle. So definitely take this into account when you're hunting for shinies. There is, however, this certain glow around certain Pokemon we can see walking around the overworld. If you do catch one of these Pokemon with the glow around them, they're guaranteed to have at least 2 perfect IV stats. As well as they'll also give you Watts at the end of the battle, which is a secondary type currency in Pokemon Sword and Shield that we can spend at specific vendors, mainly for extra moves for our Pokemon. Another really cool thing that we actually have a separate video talking about this, but it's definitely worth mentioning in early tips, is the fact that very early on in the game we can get a perfect IV Gigantamax Eevee and a Gigantamax Pikachu. To do this, we need to talk to the 2 NPCs in the top left corner of the train station just before we enter the wild area. As you can probably imagine, for the Eevee, we will need to have save file on the same profile of having played Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. And obviously for the Pikachu, you'll need to have a save file having played Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu on the same profile. But these are definitely worth picking up as they are more free Gigantamax Pokemon, and I haven't been able to confirm this yet, but it's apparently said that these 2 Pokemon have 6 perfect IV stats. However, as is the case with Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, these 2 Pokemon cannot be evolved. So those are the main tips that you should definitely know when starting out your journey in Pokemon Sword and Shield. As usual, it's very much appreciated if you leave in the comments down below any other tips you give to new players joining in the Galar adventures. So I hope you did find this video helpful, guys. If you did, don't forget that thumbs up button, subscribe for more content coming very soon, and we'll see you next time.